joy and I find the fun in it. I'm not going to lock into another pattern of losing and gaining weight. You have to decide those things in your mind. You're not going to be that person ever again. Whether it's 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 1 week, you're not going to go through this loop.
No,
you're going to make a change here and now, and then boom, just keep on going.
Yes.
Don't think about how you did or whatever it did. Just keep going.
You can do it.
And like you said, we'll talk more about the food and things and certain things you can try. But
that'll probably be part 3. We didn't realize we need these different parts.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Spice. Oh man, here we go. Life.
Hello everybody.
Yeah, before we get too deep into things, of course, this is number 3. Part 3, right?
This is part 3.
Okay, so part 3, and before we get into that, guys, Angela, remind the beautiful, amazing audience.
Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate all of you.
Yes.
So we have a website. If you could please, yes, we do.
Yes.
If you could please visit our website
and please.
Follow our post on our website. There's a way to follow our post on our website. Our website is www.spiceohlife.com. Make sure you're doing OHO, like life.
Oh, this is too good.
So websites are good for people that are not on social media, that you can just go to a web browser and just type in www.spiceohlife.com. Also, our website has our audio, a link to our audio and our video podcast. And then speaking of podcasts, the site we use for distribution is Podbean. So all our links are in the description below, but here are the details. All right. So Podbean is our distributor of our podcast. We also are on Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Amazon, Google, Pandora, and all other podcasts that's listed below. If you have your favorite podcast, I guess whatever app that you're using, I know that we are on there. We make sure we give a listing on our podcast, so please make sure that you're following us, and we appreciate it. We're also on YouTube. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok. Let me say TikTok because, guys, we're trying to reach 1,000 followers so that we can open up a few more things that we can do on TikTok, like going live and also in putting our website in our bio. So please, if you're on TikTok, follow us.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, you open up to going live. That'll help people. Like, tell a friend something if you want to see us go live. Like, yeah, instead of getting it recorded.
So we're trying to get to 1,000 followers on there. So follow us on TikTok, Spice O Life. The link is below as well. We're at Spice O Life on TikTok. Also, Linktree. You're gonna see a listing of Linktree with all the websites on Linktree. So thank you so much. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, with that, Angela, how are you doing? How's it going, as they say?
I have no complaints. I'm doing pretty good. Had a pretty good week. Vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's a show.
We had a great weekend. We had this extended long weekend. We had Labor Day.
Oh, man.
But also I decided to take vacation days as well. So, and using that time to rest.
What are some, and we can talk about some of the things we did to try to inculcate a walk.
Yes.
And wasn't I didn't do as much as I really wanted to do, but there's little things you can do and little things we did.
Yes.
Whether it's by design or not, so we can talk about that.
Yes.
We'll do that another time.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for asking, Angela. I'm doing good.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask him.
Who said that?
What are you doing, Mr.
How you
Christopher
doing?
Graves?
Thanks for asking. I'm doing pretty good. No complaints.
Yeah.
And I could just start off by saying, remembering our walk.
Yeah.
No matter what we talk about, that little knock, that's me knocking.
Yes.
It's just putting emphasis on remembering that the walk is the nucleus of everything we do. And I know we said we're going to talk about like food and fasting and
Yes.
things like that, but the walk is the nucleus. Everything you do, everything we do, we just build everything we do around that. And so one of the first things that we wanted to kind of get into, because we said we promise you that, is Angela talked about fasting and intermittent fasting, and that is to me, it can be a little slippery slope, but we don't take anybody's health for granted. We're not going to tell anybody this is exactly, because there's no scientist sit around and saying this is exactly what you do. Again, before you do or make any moves in these directions, always seek and go and talk to professionals, especially if you have certain traumatic things that's happened, physical things that's happened to you, before you get into any of these things. And always listen to your body and your mind, and then you gather all your data and make those decisions. But what is some of the insight, Angela, when it comes to intermittent fasting? Not something we do all the time by any stretch of the imagination, but once in a while.
Yeah, so for those that don't know what intermittent fasting is, so basically what intermittent fasting is that you're only eating at specific times, and you're only going to eat at specific times. This is important. That's going to work for you. Everybody is different. They have different schedules. So basically what you're going to do is have a feeding window within a 24-hour period of time, and you're going to have a window where you're not going to eat. Some people fast for days. Some people fast certain periods of times of the day. So basically, there are a few types of intermittent fasting that's out there. One is the 16/8. That means you're fasting for 16 hours and you're eating 8 hours. That is my favorite one, everybody, and that's exactly what Christopher and I are doing. So basically, we will skip breakfast. We'll start eating around lunchtime, and then we'll try to finish it up around 6 or 7 o'clock. And the reason why that is important is because you don't want to go to bed with a full belly. Sometimes it's hard for some people to sleep when your stomach is full and your stomach is digesting. So give a 3-hour window for that to happen. But basically, when you go to sleep, that's when that fasting starts. After 7, you go to sleep and you wake up in the morning. So then you're going to wait until lunchtime to eat. So basically, that's what we do. And that's exactly what fasting is. Some people, they will shorten that window, that feeding window. Some people will do OMAD, and that's the shortened window. OMAD stands for 1 meal a day, which means that they probably, and most people choose to eat dinner. Because if you start with breakfast, that's going to be very hard to do when you're just eating breakfast, and then you got the whole day to try to fight off those hunger things. It's good to do, and I know we've done them. We've probably done them all, Chris. As far as the fasting, and you can play around with it. Try to figure out where your sweet spot is in regards to the eating, and that's going to take a minute. They'll take a minute, but your body will get used to it. So always remember that. Don't think it's going to be too hard for you. Your body has to adjust, and you have to do what's going to work for you. Hopefully I didn't. Was that what you was looking for as far as about intermittent fasting? I may have went a little bit overboard, and sometimes I do when I go into explanation and stuff. But
if you don't, or if you overdo it, then you're gonna starve yourself. You don't want to do that.
Right. But also, we have to keep in mind too. One of the things that we did this time, that I did this time, well, I guess we'll go into that probably later in regards to some of the things you want to do to kind of protect your health in regards to when you're not, and also to make it easy, because the body goes into different stages of of trying to make sure that you are not going to harm yourself, so it goes into this protected state. But there are the few things that we did that kind of help us out in that regards.
Okay. Speaking of eating, I think you mentioned eating a while back. Creative eating,
right,
is what I wanted to get into. I was trying to figure out how to segue into that.
Okay.
Part there. But yeah, so creative eating, guys, is one thing we did. This is the food side. We think of different ways to eat food. So like somebody made, like we like Crunchwrap.
Yes.
You may like a Crunchwrap taco, like you like Crunchwraps, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what we did in one of our cooking shows, go back and look at it. It's on.
Also, it's going to be up here. We're going to put a link to the Crunchwrap show there. So if you're interested in watching, please watch.
Yeah. So we made a seafood Crunchwrap.
Yes.
Is what I'm getting to. And I think it turned out pretty good.
It did. It was delicious.
Yes. And it was not overly fattening. We still had all of the tomatoes and the shrimp and the crab and all kind of good stuff in it. And I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yes.
It was delicious and nutritious. So that's an example. Then we did another example is like sushi.
Yes.
Now we just made sushi. Say that 20 times fast. But we also did. You could do it with, you put certain veggies and mushrooms in it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we could have fried it. Yeah. You could have cooked
we call it tempura.
Or you could cook some of the crab or whatever before, or fish or whatever, eggs. People use different things. You can cook it before, or you can just leave it the way it is.
Yes.
But all of them are just examples of how you can find delicious foods that you enjoy. It's not just like,
yes,
this is all I gotta eat this.
Yeah, and it is creative because we can't, we made the food, but we tailored it to our, the way we eat and what we were going to eat. So there are things that we put in there that we know it's not normally in certain foods, but that's what we do. That's what we do, and it turns out good. So just like with the Crunchwrap, we use crab cakes in there, fried crab cakes. We put that in there. It was delicious. So, and also for the sushi, we actually instead of getting the imitation crab legs, we had real crab legs in our sushi.
Keeping it real.
Yeah. And another thing too with our shows, and I'm gonna, each show that we list, we're gonna put it up here so you guys can can watch them. So if you see some link going there, that's the shows that we've done thus far.
That's for people on the podcast. There's you're not going to see it. Now it may be something.
Sorry, podcasters.
Yeah, so it may be something in the subscription about it, or a link you can go to from there.
Yeah, so if you go to our audio, the Podbeam, or there's a link to some of the shows, like definitely on Apple, it has a link to our show in there. I put video podcast under there in Podbeam, so you'll be able to click on it. Also, Linktree, if you see Linktree, you'll be able to go to our podcast. But If you want to bypass all that, just type in YouTube Spice OH apostrophe life. Spice O life. And then I put it in with Chris and Angela. You'll see that. So yeah, that's how you can get to that. But yeah, we have so many shows that we did, cooking shows. So hopefully you guys enjoy them.
Yeah. So those are just examples, guys, and those are different ways we can do what we have to do, and it helps us to now manage our lifestyle and manage the way, which is the point of why we were saying, why I was saying what I was saying, so that we can go and then you just create and manage your lifestyle with different ways. Before that, we were eating a lot of fast food, a lot of McDonald's and Burger King, and it seemed like I don't know, I should have just said fast food. I'm over here giving out names.
Yeah, it's so much. Yeah, it's so much. We ate so much. And I'm sorry, just thought about what's funny, guys, is how we was looking. You know how huge we got huge. We gained a lot of weight. So, but anyway, go ahead, Chris.
The part I wanted to mention is how easy it is just to order stuff.
Yes.
You order stuff and then those companies send stuff to you. And so life has gotten easier to go that way.
Yes.
So again, it's going to have to be one of those things where you have to fight. Will it happen where you may order something? Yeah, you might. You might order something that day or whatever, but don't fall back into the cycle of it.
Yes.
So don't beat yourself up if you say, "Oh man, I'm gonna go on the app and call this place or get this place or do this thing and get this." Don't go crazy. Yeah, don't go crazy about it. If you do that, that sounds crazy. Do. If you do that, because what me and Angela both, I think she'll agree on, is that it is now a way of living.
Yes, it is. And also, guys, one thing that has helped us is the fact that we don't eat out as much as we used to. All that fast food, all that Grubhub and DoorDash stuff, we don't do that as much as we used to. But I can say this, with the fast food, it does contribute to a lot of water weight gain. I noticed that once we stopped that, I don't feel bloated. You know, I used to feel very bloated because there's a lot of sodium also in there.
I think that's the biggest reason why we avoid it.
Yeah. So, and I think some companies put MSG in that food to try to get you to crave it. So that's not good. MSG is not good for you. So cooking yourself, and also, like we said in our previous shows, we are not on any particular diet plan. In fact, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to do this without having to be on any particular diet plan. But we're doing, even now today, you know, we're maintaining and losing still without being on a particular diet plan. We're just managing our food better while we're intermittent fasting. And I think that is so important, guys. When you're intermittent fasting, you are in control. You're controlling how much you eat, when you eat, and also what you eat. I can tell you now, and Chris can vouch, that the fact that once we're finished eating, we stop. You know, we can't overstuff ourselves anymore like we used to. Our stomachs have shrunk and it needed to shrink. So basically, we're just happy about that, you know.
Yep, it definitely needed to shrink, and it's still going in that direction. But I was going to mention, just along with the lifestyle and the eating and avoiding the people that bring your food and the fast food and all that stuff, is there are going to be some things and habits that you have. That's okay. And I'm never going to tell a person, well, you stop. I'll give you an example. You have to stop drinking coffee, or you need to start drinking coffee. There
Yeah.
are people that drink coffee and don't drink coffee. There are people that drink soda and don't drink soda.
Yes.
Those are things that you're going to start figuring out on your own. Like, okay, I think I will or will not do this.
Yeah.
That's going to help you. Now, the one thing I will encourage, because we're talking about something in the morning to help us get going. Some people use coffee, juice, whatever.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend, again, consult, talk to the professional, all that. What works for me, and what I've known to work for me and Angela, is when I make sure I have vitamins, take certain vitamins and supplements and minerals in the morning, I have way more energy. I can get a lot more what I've planned to do that day. It gets done.
Yes.
And that's talking about the one thing that's the nucleus of everything we do, and we talked about, is the walk. So those are highly chances of it happening. So there are some days where I may not take certain vitamins or may not take certain minerals. Sometimes I just don't think about doing it, and sometimes I'll do it and everything as well. Sometimes I will choose to take certain ones, again, because I'm not going to stick to some sort of gotta do rigid plan. That's not what we're trying to promote here. We're trying to promote you adjusting and elevating your lifestyle to a place where certain goals you have for yourself, losing weight naturally over time,
Yes.
and being happy and a sense of accomplishment and being able to do it. That's the thing, and doing it with someone, you know, because I know I've enjoyed it personally. But wouldn't you say, Angela, that it's even more embedded when you have two people kind of making sure they support you?
Oh, yeah. So we support each other very well, because not only do we support each other in our walks, in our physical fitness, in our health, but also in eating as well, because we are intermittent fasting. Christopher and I still haven't changed up the foods that we eat. We just changed up when we eat them and how much of it we eat, and keeping up with the intermittent fasting. Now I'm going to add one little portion to this in regards to intermittent fasting and how it benefited us. There was a time this last winter, there was 2 months we didn't walk, but we kept to intermittent fasting, and we maintained our weight. And
we didn't walk at all.
We I would say from January, the last walk we did was December, last December, but January and February we didn't walk. If we did, it was probably a couple of times, but you don't see none of our walks for January or February. We started back the springtime.
I remember walking a little bit, but it was cold.
Basically, that's why, because we had so many days of cold
weather. And then it seemed
weather.
like it rained a little bit.
Yes, so.
But it wasn't, you know how it is in Georgia. It wasn't like we had an Arctic blast, but it was cold. And then when it got real cold, it's just cold and dry. Then it got warm enough, and I use the word warm sparingly, to rain. So it's still cold, but now you got a cold rain because it's not cold enough for snow. And that's kind of like how that weather was.
Yeah, so basically, intermittent fasting saved us.
Saved my life.
I'm just telling you how important that is.
Yeah.
And there's so many other benefits to intermittent fasting as well. So look that up. I suggest you guys to take the time and do your research on intermittent fasting, and you'll see what we're saying. Also, like Christopher mentioned before, make sure you consult your physician. We are not physicians here. We're sharing with you and trying to motivate you to do something, to get up and do some type of walk, do some type of change in your diet, and also not to give up. That motivation is so important. And when you see someone as we were before, we were heavy. We're at our heaviest weight. But this month makes it a year that we started walking. We lost, we collectively together lost 70 pounds. Chris lost, I think, 38 or 36, 38 pounds. I lost about 33 to 35 pounds. So we still got some more weight to lose. And we still got some more goals that that we set for ourselves, which we'll talk on another show about. But we just want to let you guys know how we eat and also the things we do to overcome our challenges as well.
Yeah, just wanted to back up. You said something earlier about it was something I wanted to mention. I should have just cut across you and mentioned it, but it was talking about you said not giving up.
Yes.
You said that a while back. Not giving up. That's kind of comes back to what you said about the 2 months.
Yes.
Where we didn't do it walk consistently.
Yes.
This is a good example. I want to talk about that for a minute because we're going to do another part 4 or something. So I'm not worried about getting to other things. But I wanted to talk about that's a great example. You're going to have things happen like that no matter where you live. People live in very hot environments or very cold environments, or at least in a seasonal area where sometimes it can be an extreme somewhere. So, for example, let's say, for instance, you live in Mediterranean area, certain areas where you're closer to the equator, like the Mediterranean area or Arizona or Morocco or something like that. Those places are during their summers, because everybody has a summer and a winter. Their summers are extremely hot.
Yes.
Our summers are very humid and hot, and just depending on the particular year, it can be more rain or not, but it can be tricky. So our summers are not as bad. During those times where you be like, oh, this is too much, those are times where you figure out alternatives. Those are times where you don't let it stop you. Those are times you take advantage of in between those extremes of a decent weather, a decent situation where you can run indoors or find, oh, this is a very cloudy day, so walk that day. So these are times where you can find the walk and take advantage of that, because that's kind of what we did during that winter time. To me, it almost seemed like, even though I do recall now that, it was a gap, we had to slow down. I never saw it as we completely stopped. It never crossed my mind, like, Angela, this is it, man. We can't do this no more. We didn't stop for over 2 months. So for 2 months, it was, in my brain, it was more of a rough patch versus that we didn't do it. Are we, like you said, we did all our alternatives? And question mark?
Okay.
I guess I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I heard you.
So
I heard you.
I know we did alternatives. I should say.
I heard you, but our followers don't see a posting of us doing anything in regards to physical fitness from January and February. But I just want to just let you know, my purpose in saying that is just let you guys know how important intermittent fasting is and how it will help you to, it helped us to maintain our weight, in regards or despite the fact that we didn't get out as much or we didn't exercise as much as we wanted to. So basically, I think that's something that you can look into, do your own research and make a decision according to your lifestyle and your health. So I just wanted to kind of let you know, some of the things that helped us, and that's one of the things.
Yeah, again, and she said that earlier, but I was mentioning the fact that even as you can see, we've been doing this for a while, and there are going to be times like that, what she mentioned. So don't get discouraged by it, because you're going to have times, depending on where you live, what you're going through. It could just be mental stuff. It don't even have to be a weather issue or anything.
Exactly.
That you're going to have to deal with that. So you're going to have to decide all the fast, the speed, and all that, which, again, I said we'll probably talk about that in another segment down the road. But those are things you're going to have to decide. And we'll talk about how and why and how it affects you in the long term and all that, because this is probably shutting it down, the end of Spice.
Life. Sing it, Chris.
Life.
Yes. Thank you for joining, everybody. Be on the lookout. Is this going to be a part 4? Or
Maybe.
we'll
We'll see.
You guys have a great rest of your day. And thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening to us on the Spice. Oh, life.